Good morning, this is Abhimanyu and you're watching DNA. I am with two international artists who are enjoying India's heat right now and also promoting their newest collaboration, Closer. It's Dave Lopez and Alan Ling. Welcome to DNA, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
First of all, I'll start with Closer itself because the two of you collaborating is always a treat to watch. And the video is just so meta, so fun. And without being disrespectful, it's sort of like parodies the grandeur and the shosha, we call it shosha in India, of Hollywood and music videos. Whose idea was it and how did you guys like come together for it?
Well, I have a good friend who I met on the set of Into the Badlands. So I'm also a physical therapist. That's how I met Aramis Knight. And Aramis went from doing acting only, and he just says, you know, I want to try my hand at producing and directing. So he said, if you have another music video, let me do it. Let me help you produce it. And I'm like, okay. And that is how this all came about. And my only contributions besides the music to the music video was I said, let me wear a tuxedo and get me some ballerinas in this music video, because the music itself is very classical. Right. So it's based on Pachelbel's canon. So I would have to give credit to Aramis Knight as the producer and my director, Daniel Catton. And they're both in their 20s. They're really young. So that's why it's very modern, upbeat.
I mean, you're giving yourself to a little credit. I mean, it's modern because of you as well. Yeah. Because
well, I did executive produce it, but, yeah. You have to step back and let other people take over. And it takes a lot of, I would say, maturity to go back and let other people work on their craft and their art. And it was, thank you very much. It turned out it was a fun experience for me.
Dave, what about you? What's it like working with him?
Well, you know, I love Alan because he's a kind of guy that if he thinks of something, he does it. There's like, you know what, I'm gonna go, you know, do music. I'm gonna do comics. I'm gonna do whatever he does. He doesn't hold back. He goes for it, you know, and I love that about him. He's not afraid, you know, to take chances and go for it, you know.
Now you've been working with your band Flippy Side and everything for about several years now. So you know what it takes to be successful out there. And we have so many Asian artists, like, you know, you're Chinese American. We have so many Indian Americans and Indian artists who are trying to break through. What does it take? Do you want to be authentic to your own Indian Asian sound, or do you want to modernize it to America? What does it take to be successful there?
I think honesty, you know, being your true self. Don't worry about the trends. Don't worry about what the world is doing right now. Do what you do, because there's only one you, and wherever you're coming from, especially like when I listen to Indian music, I am like, wow, the traditional Indian music, you know, the instruments and everything. And then and I'm like, this is incredible because I can't do that. Mm-hmm. So when you introduce that to the other side of the world, that's what they go, what is that? You know, that's why you have a lot of producers, they sample Indian music, Bollywood, right? And that's where the people go crazy, because you can't deny a good groove, a good beat, a good sound, right? In India, I mean, it's so much talent in this country that I get scared. Like, I got to practice more when I come. So I was at the hotel room and I see a kid with a flute. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I thought it was our CD, you know? And I'm like, because the scales are, you know, but they're very similar to Latin music, you know? That's why Latin music's so popular over there a lot, because it's like, it's new, you know, it's a new sound and it stays true to whatever that is. And I think India, you know, the sounds of India are slowly already going to the West, you know? Whether it's the Netflix movies, the Bollywood movies, everything is happening. Right. So it's like, I feel like there's a perfect time for like a great new artist to come out of here and to be on a world stage, because as long as they just do what they do, you know, that balance,
right. You know? And you mentioned Aramis Knight. He was in Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel was all Asian sounds, Indian, Pakistani sounds. It was pretty, you know, and it was loved over there, you know, in the West they loved those sounds, because one of the songs, Pasuri, was already a huge hit here. It was a sensation, viral hit here, and then we see it something mainstream, something Marvel. It shows that there is an appetite for those sorts of things there as well. Now, I have a question for you. Closer is sort of like a parody of a music video in Hollywood. What do you think? Can there be an Indian version of that, with all that goes through in making of a Bollywood video?
I think it would be absolutely hilarious. I'd have to collaborate on with somebody who's established here for sure, and we're working on that. But I just think it's fun to make fun of something without offending anyone. Right. And I think that's really important, that if you're going to make fun of something, do it in such a way that even the people that you're kind of poking fun at, they also laugh at themselves. So you don't want to be too aggressive about those kind of things.
Yeah, and it comes from a place of honesty and respect, right? If you respect what is being done, you can make fun of it. But if you're dissing it, then it suddenly becomes a diss track, which you're not doing, right?
Yeah, I didn't, and Dave cautions me. Right. He's very good about, you don't want to kind of go in that direction. Right. And it's for me, you want to have people who temper some of your impulsive, creative ideas, because some of them, they're not very good. so Aramis was able to talk me out of not doing Closer, my version of Closer.
Okay.
And my version of Closer was more of a bullet ballet, where you have this beautiful music playing, but these guys are trying to get closer to shoot each other. And then he goes, you don't want to do that. So it was really good that he talked me out of it.
You love this version right now?
It's more than I could have imagined how nice. And I just like the whole funny part. Oliver Cooper, who's the director, he's an amazing actor. And I guess he was an X Factor or something like that. And he just fit that role perfectly. He couldn't have done better. He just literally walked in. They did a bunch of takes for maybe an hour, and then he left. He was so good.
Wow, that's good. That's great. Dave, you mentioned your sort of familiarity with Indian music. Of course, the instrument and the classical. Are you familiar with any artists or any songs as well?
You know, my best friend, his name is Jason Becker, and he's one of the greatest guitar players in the world. He's I don't know if you know who he is. He played with David Lee Roth. So anyways, so my best friend is he is so into Indian, the culture, the music, everything. That's just why he's still alive. A lot of meditating, a lot of, and so he turned me on a lot of Indian music, like, Zakir Hussain, wow. Right? Ravi Shankar, all that classical stuff, right? And so just hearing that, the different scales and the rhythms and the patterns are so amazing to me, because I can't do it. You know what I mean? When I go see a band, I don't look at the guitar player. I play guitar, right? I look at the drummer, because I love drums. Drums are such my passion. I love drums. So a lot is the rhythms, Indian rhythms, but obviously there's a lot of great underground hip hop here, being from Flipside. There was a kid, Smokey the Ghost, is a friend of mine. I've known him since before he became well known. He was a big fan. So he just texted me on the way up here, So that guy, and then, GV, GV,
right, okay.
Gajendra Verma, right? We did a song with him last year.
Yes, of course.
So I love that song because we combined the Latin. I'm very Latin, being Latin guy, and I think it blends with the Indian rhythms
quite well. Yes.
So it's like I'd love to do more of that. I'd love to bring Latin flavors to the Indian, the rhythms and the sounds, because the voices are so beautiful. I love, just everything about it. It's incredible. So I'd love to keep doing that.
Is there a wish list that you have, both of you, of Indian artists you'd want to collaborate with? Apart from Gajendra, of course, you've done that, but is there sort of a wish list there?
Well, the number one name that keeps popping up is Lucky Ali.
Oh,
and I know he's been around a while, but when they gave me, Malvika, my agent, gave me a list, maybe about 10 different artists to look at. And I went through them, and there's also Asha, Bhosle, and I know these are like icons.
Of course,
so I wanted to figure out a timeless person,
right.
Artist. And but the other thing about Lucky Ali's music videos, and I also do music videos, right? So I really liked his music videos too. So what I'm looking at isn't just in the music. I'm looking at what does he see in his vision of repetitive, but the visual aspect of his music. How is he going to interpret his music?
How is he depicting it in a visual medium? That's important as well.
He can segue into another medium, and so I just got really excited because I said, "Oh, this guy's pretty cool." And so he just keeps popping up because I gravitated toward his artistry. So yeah, it just keeps popping up.
Yeah, let's manifest that and put it out in the world.
And he's got great spirit. That guy's spirit is it's beyond music. It's beyond he just has very good spirit,
And Asha Bhosle is my mom's age, so that woman just going. My mom's like that too.
She's a legend. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
so
just-
I'm just looking at people who have that. They're still very attached to the current affairs and the current culture. They're still very, very relevant. They're a household name. You don't get there by being a flash in the pants.
Of course
You
not.
just don't. And so having that sustainability and to be able to continue with art and continue with creation and continue to inspire people, that's just such a great role model to have. And so,
I'll tell you one thing about Asha Bhosle. She's been singing professionally for 75 years. She was singing when Gandhi was alive. Exactly. That's how big she is, and she's huge. I mean, I know, and to be relevant for that long, to be active is one thing, but to be relevant for that long, and she's still a huge draw in India because she's an icon, like you said, and she has changed and transformed with time. Like she was one thing in the 50s and 60s, and she was another thing in the 90s and 2000s, and she'll still do her peppy numbers, and once in a while she'll do a ballad which is just off the charts and everything. And that's just her. So again, manifesting both these, and hopefully you can get there.
There was a boy and there was a girl. He stayed at home, she changed the world. They lived so close, she traveled far. Whenever she left, he never could start getting closer. Afraid to hold her, could not console her, and couldn't get closure. I wanna get closer, I just wanna hold you. I wanna get closure, you know that I love you. I wanna get close, I wanna get closer to your heart. I wanna be your perfect lover, start our lives over.
Wow, that was amazing. I don't think anything I can say after this can top that. So I'm going to stop here. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen.
Thank you very
It
much
was
too.
a fun video to watch, and I'm looking forward to the Indian version of that. And we have put a lot out in the universe for it. So I'm pretty sure after this video and more of these, a lot of Indian artists will reach out to you. And let's hope something can happen. And it was a pleasure talking to you guys, and thank you.
It was a real pleasure. And thank you for that idea.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.